Now, if you've been with us through this whole set of tapes, you'll know we had a very clear goal in the beginning of this program. We wanted to develop this airplane and this motor and tank combination with a prop into a workable combination, which we've gone back and forth with tank heights, different mufflers, taking our air filter on and off, and basically that's on because we were on a really dirty field the last couple of days. We've gone back and forth through a whole bunch of props, and what we've come up with is a final package that can win expert level stunt at local contests. Now, obviously that's not the easiest goal in the world, but we've managed to do that. And I'm real happy that it went in such a manner that it wasn't, you know, set this and just go fly. This really was a lot of back and forth, a lot of dinking around, mainly with the tank mounts, the mufflers, and the biggest single thing, the props. But we've reached a point now where we'd like to take this to another level. I know there's a lot of people that would prefer to run a lower RPM motor with a more traditional prop, with a more traditional 2.4 brake. And because John Brodak is now a distributor for Double Star Motors, we're going to be getting from him in the next day or so a Double Star 40. I've asked Midgley to send me his too so that I'd have a spare motor and parts. And the object is to have two packages. This will ultimately be the very low cost, very easy to set up, I guess what we would call the beginner package, low end, low cost, low budget, whatever you want to call it. The Double Star motor sells for quite a bit more money, but we'd also like to develop a package with a prop and a tank and a setup and a shim that's a little bit more competition oriented and less sport flyer oriented. And so with that in mind, I want to do a little storyboard on what we're trying to accomplish and what the reason is that we think it'll work real well. Now, what we really want to start with is we know there's going to be a lot of people that build this airplane with a stock K&B 40 motor. That's a very inexpensive motor, and you can see from the video we started with trying to run low pitch props, high pitch props, and everything in between. Basically, these are the things that we've found that work, as well as you can expect this economical of a package to work. And I think it's an excellent, this motor combination is an excellent package with a few little tricks. The tank shim, the tank and the shim as a unit. The tank, if we were to look at the motor and referencing off the glow plug, let's say the spinner of the plane is here, we wound up with the tank itself, the center line of the tank is about 1/4 of an inch above. And believe me, we went back and forth many times to try to establish that. One of the things that made it really a doable thing was the fact that we had those adjustable tank mounts. Now, keep in mind what this is. This is a stock motor. This is a stock tank. These are off-the-shelf parts. Let's call this the off-the-shelf. Virtually everything available right from John Brodak, and of course that's one of our goals. Tank, motor, the prop. Prop that we had the best luck with overall was our 12.4 AHM, 12.4 BY&O, and a 13.4 AHM cut to 11 1/4. And by the way, this is the prop that wound up on the plane at the contest. The reason I say this would be your best stock prop, because AHMs are only available from me, so from John Brodak would be your 11.5 and 12.4 BY&O. Now these three things, when put together as a combination, make for a very reasonable, pleasant package of flying. Also, the muffler that we used was a tongue muffler with 15, there's 20 holes in it when you buy it, 15 holes exposed, 15 1/8 inch holes. Now it may seem like, oh boy, big deal, yeah, but any one of these gets crisscross moved around, and just as an example, to have the tank out of shim, you'll never get the motor to run right. To have a 6-pitch prop, you'll never get the plane to fly slow enough. Keep in mind, K&B is a high RPM engine. It's a Schnurly engine. But we got this setup to work as good as, I think, any setup like it. Any of the Maxes, the LA Maxes, any of them, I think it runs just as good or better than any of them that I've ever seen. And obviously it was good enough to win the first contest. But like all the things we do, oh, by the way, let's make a note, 5% Taffender fuel. And by the way, at the end of all our testing, we wound up with a 4-ounce tank. 4 ounces being the amount it took to do the stun pattern. And it may seem insignificant until it's your turn to go through this. Now, the other people that are building a plane, of which the Midgley brothers are one of them, Dave and Woody, is to have this. It's an off-the-shelf, set it up right off of this little chart, fly the plane, and you'll be getting some pretty reasonable runs and flights right off the get-go. This is off-the-shelf stuff. There's no rework stuff here at all. What's going to happen in the future, and I want to emphasize, in the future, when time permits, we're going to try to get a modified K&B for our testing. Tom Hampshire has agreed to come by and try some of his magic tricks on it. Again, a modified motor is another package. We're not into that right now. Right now we're developing a whole nother thing. We also have a non-stock Midgley tank coming. See, what happens here is now you're getting into modified, more expensive parts, maybe more leaning toward contest flyer instead of sport flyer, where I originally wanted this to stay, the beginning of the program, to be off-the-shelf stock parts that would appeal to either very aggressive sport flyers or the low-end competition flyers, not the all-out dedicate your life to the world of stunt flyers. We also have, we haven't tested Randy Holcroft's muffler yet. He hasn't gotten it to us yet. But believe me, as far as props go, you can use modified $45 props. There's more to be had as time goes by. We'll be doing more, and I'm sure we'll get more samples from John Brodak. Fuel, I would be settling in on PA fuel right here and not be getting too cute about it. That's the best fuel I've ever used, and that's the only fuel I use. But we've reached that point, and we're at that magic point where this setup, for right now, we're going to be taking it out of the plane as a unit, as a setup, and we're going to wait to get our double star. And let me explain the reason, what I hope to accomplish with the double star. And keep in mind the double stars are available right from John Brodak. Okay, the advantage, or the thing that we're trying to maximize here, is the motor itself is lighter. Now, when I say lighter, what I really mean is, if we were to draw out the profile of the plane, what I know is a significant, boy, that's a great plane. What I know is significant is not only that it's nose weight, but it's weight that's above the center of the wing. So by reducing this weight above the center of the wing, two things are going to change. The vertical CG will be more in line with the wing and probably minimize the effect of using a trim tab, which is what I hope. And then I also can fine-tune with either props or nose weights as necessary. But the package of having a lighter motor above the wing center line, and possibly more of the muffler or a tube muffler, or the muffler, I don't even know if a muffler comes with those engines. But what I'm trying to accomplish most of all is get some of the weight off the nose and down, back and down, and I think This is one of the significant things. Now keep in mind, double star motor is basically twice the price of a K&B 40. And for that extra money, what you're really buying is a lighter crankcase. You're also buying a low RPM motor. A loop motor, loop scavenge motor, typically runs a lower RPM, typically has a different power band. It doesn't have the tendencies to make more and more power as the flight goes on and possibly get lean and go lean at the end of the flight. Something that's known in the stunt world as the Schnurly two-step, which a lot of Maxes are prone to do. Some of the engines that are made to run at high RPM, or even some of the pipe motors on a lean run, they will just turn into rocket ships. Basically, low RPM motors, Fox 35s, Tigers, don't do that nearly as easily as high RPM motors. What this also is going to allow us to do is use a different range of props, more pitch. One of the things we'll probably be using is 5 to 5.5 inches of pitch instead of 4 to 4.5. So low RPM, higher pitch. This is one of the significant things that changes now. When you change from a high to a low RPM engine, what happens is this is a gyroscope. The propeller is a gyroscope. And if it's turning 10,000 RPM and you reduce it 1,000 RPM, it's the equivalent of making the gyroscope smaller. Anytime you can reduce the engine RPM, you're reducing the GP. Now, if you can reduce the RPM and the prop diameter and still get the same amount of torque, now you've got a double gain. And what we're trying for now is not really a sport flyer setup. This is leaning toward being a full competition airplane now, with a lightweight motor, maybe some fancy props. And again, we don't know yet. We don't even have a test prop for this yet. But basically, we've doubled the price, and we're trying for more and more of a competitive package, but still in a sport airplane, still in a plane that's extremely easy to build, extremely easy to finish, and not a big investment in hundreds and hundreds of hours to build. Now, one of the things we learned, and it was very significant from the contest that we just went to, was basically looking at the double star 40, the 2.4 brake that it had in two of the other planes that were there. It's a distinct 2.4 brake, a very hard 2.4 brake, where the K&B has a much different high RPM soft brake. This is more of a traditional stunt run, for whatever you want to call it, using a higher pitch prop. It'll usually be just a little bit quieter and softer in the pitch of the note of the exhaust. But for all purposes, what we're going to try to come up with is both. If you have a blonde girlfriend and you can't decide if you want a brunette girlfriend or a redhead, the best idea is have them all. Have a low RPM setup, have an off-the-shelf setup that pretty much anybody can just order from John Brodak in one phone call, and maybe a trick setup, a trick DS40, maybe custom tank. Maybe we don't even need a custom tank. Maybe we'll even try the stock tank so we can compare the stock to the fancy one. Different props, we're going to be making plenty of props. But the thing we're keying in on now is when we use a double star, the advantage will be, and anybody that does not understand the value of a hard 2.4 brake, a hard 2.4 brake is the most significant thing that can help a beginner pilot become an expert. When the motor is braking predictably and you're not monkeying around with the needle and the motor is running cool, you'll always have a tremendous advantage. Even the guys running high RPM pipe setups have backed into having 2.4 brakes in their motor. There's virtually nobody that I know of in the world of stunt that even believes that there's such a thing as a one-speed motor run anymore. That was written about years ago. It's totally bogus. Nobody even does it. Everybody, and I don't care who you are, everybody has some degree of 2.4 brake in their motor run. And that's the direction that we're going to be taking this Cardinal thing in right now. This whole program's going in that direction. Now you may think I've been spending too much time at the the local bars. I'm very proud of this. I'm extremely proud of this. This is my stepdaughter Stacy's first CD. She's had her own band for 2 years now. She's been playing in New York City in many, many different gigs, and discotheques and whatnot. Played in the bitter end. Played in places where Barbara Streisand got her start. This is her first official real CD to be released. And I have to tell you how proud I am of her. We've gone to many of her. I don't even know how to open this. Shows you what I know. I don't really have a lot of CDs. But if you want to look, this tells you now. This comes from fine upbringing that I gave this girl, the best years of my life. She's given credit to virtually everybody that helped her along the way. God, her mother. Look at this guy, Wendy. Now notice where I am. I'm the third one in. First there's God, then her mother. RSR, that's her boyfriend. So you think I would be ahead of her boyfriend, but I don't know if I'm happy about this. Special thanks. See, when I try to teach her to thank the people that help her up at the bottom. Now this is her first thing. You know, the whole deal is she hasn't made $1 off of this yet, really. This cost me a lot of Brodak kits to get this going, but anyway, we are really pulling for her. Look at this, I just broke her CD. We are really pulling for her. They have to wear these costumes, by the way. This isn't her real life look, but anyway, that's her band. Their first CD is out on the market. You'll probably hear it on MTV or the National Records. And actually, she's pretty good. I have to give her credit, and I'm really proud of her. So spend a minute. Hey, if you hear some funky music in the background, you know, like it's Stacy. Congratulations, kid. Now, not a minute too late. Earl Midgley sent this tank. This is a custom-made tank, a one-of-a-kind, and we're going to do some experimenting with tanks, obviously before the season's over, but when we set up for the double star, we'll set up with this tank. This has a baffle in it. It has the Brodak ears already soldered on. And unfortunately, he does not make these for sale to the general public. If he did, it would all be better off. But these are custom, one-of-a-kind things. You can see the quality of the soldering work on it anyway. And notice the biggest thing of all. It always has fuel in it. It's never empty. Even when a plane is in storage, the tank should have some fuel in to avoid the contamination. So we'll have that when we get the double star. Now what's supposed to happen is I'm supposed to get a brand new one from John Brodak, and I'm supposed to get a used one from Dave Midgley. We'll see if I get them. In the meantime, we got a lot of mail to go through today. We're starting to get this package put together. Now this is from Gary Lutz in Maryland. Gary is doing something that I consider to be a real nice thing in the world of stunt. He shares the mistakes he had. He had a mistake with, I'm not sure if it was this plane or the one before it, where the plane all fogged up, and he wrote about it in Stunt News, shared it with everybody. This is his latest PM, and he will not be able to make the Nats this year due to family problems. He's had a death in his family, so we wish him well. I just get a look at how nice his PMs have been coming out. These are modified PMs. Just about everything is a modified PM, in fact. Nice paintwork as always. Big Jim 60, Big Jim fuel tank. Again, Gary's working. If you've seen the Nats videos from last year, you know Gary had an unfortunate accident. He was in contention for the concourse, that's for sure. I don't think he'll be making those mistakes again anyway. Maybe give you some ideas for some unique paint jobs of your own. Kind of looks like a little bit like a Steve Busso. He was the one that started putting checkerboards down the middle of the wing like that. And pretty much everybody's been doing that lately. Except Wendy. Anyway, really nice plane. Nice paintwork. Now another thing, even though Gary will not be able to make the Nats and he will be taking care of some family business, he says he's definitely coming out to Brodak's. Definitely will be joining us at the Brodak fly-in. This is Gary's daughter, Jana. Gary, I appreciate it. Thanks a whole lot for the photos. We'll be sharing them with Stunt News. Cute daughter. I just got to show this note up on the screen. Hello, Wendy. Just a few pictures. Help keep my interest up. Please tell Jim Borelli I have a 20-point lawn. Now, Jim Borelli, of course, is by far has the nicest lawn, and we're going to be going out to see him Saturday, so we'll try to get a look at what he's been building and what he's been doing. 20-point lawn, all right. Yeah, this set of photos is from Larry. He said George Aldrich brought back to life his Vico 35, obviously did a rework on it. And like all of Larry's planes, they are just beautifully finished. By the way, nice little idea. Notice how he has the adjustable trim tab out on the end of the wing. Now I'm going to send Larry out a tape of what we've been doing here with the profile meet. I know Larry likes profiles. He's built quite a few with them. And they are exquisite. Now the paintwork, just exquisite. Larry, by the way, good friend for a long time. He's looked at a lot of my videos and thanked me one time for the Lona videos by recording a whole bunch of movies for me about the Battle of Britain and etc., etc. Okay, this one has this Prowler has an OS 40, a Tom Dixon 40, 38 ounces. Nice Prowler. Has the Bob Hunt type of paint job, Genesis type of paint job. And as always, neat as a pin paintwork, very typical of Larry. Now this Banshee that's coming up here is an OS 40 by Byron Barker. Now see, one thing I like about Larry, he gets motors from everybody. Try them all, hey. Look, he's got the little adjustable trim tab again. Notice the nice, neat lettering, paintwork. Anyway, by the way, that is a great way to do things. And that's, by the way, one of the things we're going to be doing on this video with the Brodak Cardinal is try several different motors and make your own decision. Hey, thank you very much, Larry, and we will be sending you out some video. Hey, nothing better than sharing a hobby. Now, I thought everybody will find this to be an interesting story, and this is a kind of a, I don't know, kind of an eat your heart out thing anyway. Chet, there's very few people in the world that have their own flying field except John Brodak, and who the heck knows? I sure don't. Anyway, check this out. This is Dan Fuller in Opelika, Alabama. Now, Dan has been real helpful to me. He sent me catalogs, pictures. He's been a good friend and a good customer for a long time. And he finally said, hey, let's quit yapping and let's get a flying field built. So check this out. I want to show you this. And I thought this was just priceless. Now, this is his house. Obviously, one of the things when you live outside the New York area, land is relatively inexpensive. A piece of land to make a flying field in our area would probably be, well, like, just so out of control. I don't know that anybody could really even afford this. Looks like a duplicate picture. But anyway, look at some of the things that he's had to do to get this online, and you can kind of see it coming together. Now, I remember when somebody else, I remember, sent me some pictures. They were making a flying field, and when they started out, they said, geez, it took a lot longer and it was a lot more work than I originally thought it was. Well, it is. There's a reason for it. And you can see what he's done. He's had to grade. Now in this picture, you can see that he's starting to do a grade up on this side. He's starting to build this up with the bulldozer. I'm telling you, anybody out there, if you ever hit the lottery and you want to share it with me, you buy the land and I'll buy the bulldozer and we'll make one of these. I mean, is this ever nice? Now check this out. You can see here, I guess it's kind of like a clubhouse or a, this is the back of the property, how it's graded down and leveled. Obviously a job for, you know, Mr. Bulldozer operator. I think even Tom Morris would be impressed with this. Let's move this picture over so you can see the grading. But hey, Dan, congratulations. It's a labor of love. It's like building a Spitfire. It's really something special. Thanks a lot for sharing that with us. Well, it's finally the weekend, and we're going to go out and see Jim Borelli. We were hoping for a decent day, but boy, it's terrible. I wanted to take a couple of minutes of tape about the latest stuff so Joe Ortiz could see what we're doing here. Joe and Peggy are here from Arizona, and we can give them a little idea of what projects Karen and I have been working on. Of course, the old Stewart stove. We have In the last week or so, I don't even know, last couple of days, we've gotten our custom-made in Canada little stools that match the cabinets. The old Stewart stove is acting as our breakfast bar. We're real happy with that so far. Here's a real sad story. Oscar Vans, and you've seen him on a video many times with his Siamese show cats, his wife Catherine, fell down the stairs, tripped over a cat, and he's in a cast from his nose to his toes. He just got out of the cast, and he bought a couple of double star motors and K&Bs, and he's ready to start rocking in Cardinal land. So we'll be seeing him, I hope, at the Nats and obviously at one of the cat shows that he comes to our area every year. Anyway, gonna get off to Jimmy Borelli's. It's a long ride to get there. And these are the two latest additions to our little world of crafts, our little glass table. The Stewart stove is finished. Oh man. And it is a miserable day to be driving out to Borelli's. 2 hours of fight in the rain, I'm sure. But anyway, these projects took longer than we thought they would, like everything else, but once they're done, then you look back and laugh. I don't know if you can even see outside. It is pouring. The wind is blowing. The fish have all gone underwater so that they don't get wet. What a mess out there. We were hoping for some decent weather for this visit, but does not look like it's going to happen. This doormat that Karen even got. We even have these homey doormats. Keep my Stewart stove company. Oh, I love that stove. Here you just walk in the house, and there it is, the Stewart. Two hours, we've never even been out of first gear. Good old Long Island. Jimmy, you better have a hot cup of coffee when I get there. What a mess. This is going to be a 3-hour trip one way. Baby Lena, now we have to open the door because Larry Shoemaker wants to see Jimmy's lawn. He says his lawn is a 20-pointer, and he said Jimmy's lawn is a 20-pointer. He wants me to appearance point the lawn.
Mine's a 21-pointer.
I have to award the Concourse Lawn Award today. Except yours, there's water on yours.
Yeah.
So this is for you, Larry. This is Jimmy's lawn. Notice the edging is very nice and neat. The shrubs are trimmed at a 90-degree angle with masking tape. Notice the curvature. The curved sidewalks get more points. I got to look at Larry's. He may have a straight one. He sent me some nice pictures.
Yeah.
He's doing well.
Yeah.
Look at that lawn, though. If this isn't the Borelli trademark of excellence. So you got the house up for sale, huh? Hey, Larry, if you want to buy a house, well, we can sell this house to Brodak. John, buy this house right now.
Is he in
Where are you going now? Tell me. Anaheim?
Anaheim. We'll be there the 28th to the 1st of June.
Okay, John Pothy will pay your motel bill. He'll give you... Yeah, I think he lives in
Staying
Anaheim.
at the Marriott, Fairfield Marriott.
Yeah, maybe you get together for some pizza. Tell him what a wonderful guy I am. Don't tell him the truth.
Is he in Pampa?
Yeah. No, I'll give you his address. I'll give you. Write him a little letter. Joe Ortiz. Baby Lena. Baby Lena, tell us, is there more to life than just stunt ships? You bet. You bet. We have you for 3 years, 7 years. What a cute baby. Anyway, it's good to see Joe. He's here from Australia. Where'd you move to, Joe? Australia, Arizona? The Aborigines? What are we talking about here? Tucson. And with Larry Shoemaker out there in Montana or wherever he lives?
Missouri.
Same thing. Anything west of Jersey is Montana.
Absolutely. A beautiful time. He has a gorgeous house.
Now look, I cast my ballot for the nicest lawn. Do you want to? I'm kind of going with Jimmy.
Larry has a nice lawn.
Larry has a nice lawn.
Beautiful.
Nice lawn, but as nice as Jimmy's, or?
It's hard to say because I was only there the one night, so I really can't remember.
Oh, he didn't want you to appearance point it in the daylight.
Big back there. No, I was there in the morning. We arrived in the morning.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to have to award this concourse award to, let's see, I'll have to get somebody to count the ballots.
Wait a minute.
Two ballots.
To the people in Arizona, we don't have lawns, we got
You guys,
rocks.
they got rocks, sand, and dead snakes. So how's everything? And tell the people at large. Really, Arizona's working out good?
Yeah.
Flying you're going to win the Nats this year? You're going to beat Lou Wall gassed up?
Old one.
You know, I'm going to try to go to the Nats, but I'm not
That's
sure.
so nice.
The Puerto Ricans are going.
Him.
The Puerto Rican F2B teams? Oh, we'll have fun with them. All right. Well, you better hold on to your
They've been
hubcaps.
calling me from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, yeah. I got some calls from them, too.
But,
The guys from England are coming, too. From Derbyshire or whatever the hell. Some part of
No, as a
England.
matter of fact, they're going there to meet you to steal your hubcaps, not on your...
I'm leaving my hubcaps off. I don't want any problems with Tampa officers accusing me that I steal my own hubcap.
There you go.
All right.
But this one that we're gonna give you now is the one that's, is an
What does it say
update
on
on my house.
Wind dancer.
Oh, how nice.
Nice plane. Ooh.
Beautiful. A pilot too?
Now, when is Debbie going to buff this out for you? Tiger 46? Or is that a 51? 51, all right. Boy, that's a nice job.
Wait, I don't know how to do this.
Nice job.
Oh, you don't know
I
how
wanna
to
see
say?
if you
No.
crush up.
Nice cow. Nice cow.
Cardinal cowl.
They don't have a...
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty original. Pretty originals. This is nice, Scraig events. You got some of everything on here. Who'd you copy?
It's a Heinz 57.
You know what this paint job reminds you of? The old bike I used to have, the race bike. The Suzuki racing colors used to be exactly this. The English one, European ones. Oh, that looks nice. How much does it weigh?
Haven't waited.
Oh, you wimp. Get that scale out. Let's weigh it. Nice paintwork. Wow. Nice paintwork.
I'm sliding, Joey.
That's the way to go. Put it on the floor so we can get like the stunt, the stunt, being the appearance point of your lawn. I don't want Larry Shoemaker to say I wimped out on him.
What do they do with those
Yeah,
little
show this to Larry, because
Oh yeah, Larry's gonna get a copy of this video.
Why does she have to listen to
Now, you didn't cheat on the wing this year, and you didn't cheat on the flaps. What's left, Jim? This better go. This better
see, I
fly.
made the flaps the way you said, 3.5, 2 and a
Yep.
quarter.
Yep. You'll be glad the first day you
Oh,
go
I'm
to
sure.
play.
Sounds like my camera.
That other chip you had, that just needed some wing.
For me?
That was cheated on the wing. Yeah, that's real nice.
Yeah, put it in my pocket.
This is,
And what is...
Has Mike Rogers seen this yet? What's is
Nobody's seen it.
he working on a new plane?
Mike?
Yeah, or is he just flying the old one?
I guess he's flying the
I
old.
planted 20 plants in the backyard.
No,
when you
that's...
finish
that's
Yeah,
what
that
I
looks
need.
good.
What about that one too?
You gonna ink it all up, or?
She's got
I'm tired of working on it.
The Nats is only a month away, Jim. You better get some buffing done.
And then tell her,
You gonna go to the Nats or not?
No, I can't. I don't have the time off.
You can't, you're gonna be in Sweden.
Sweden. He skips the Nats and goes right to the World
When is
Championships.
this happening?
We have
July.
nuts.
What are you going to the Volvo school? The Volvo
Yeah, I
training
have to
school?
go to Volvo training.
Oh man.
You gotta go right to Sweden.
No, no
Right to the mother
wives? You
country.
can't take wives
The
with you?
mother country.
Too bad.
I like. Whoa. Whoa.
It's okay.
It's okay. No problem.
It's okay. Oh, that's
Whose
okay.
fault was that?
Lena, do you look guilty about that?
No, that's okay.
No, did he...
That's fine.
no.
Okay.
Wind dance.
She looked the opposite.
That's a nice name.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yes. Go away.
All right, it's time for snacks and pizza and chicken and. Yeah, it looks real nice, Jim. Now the truth is, Joey made these wheel pants.
So we made these wheel pants.
Oh man, I hope there's not. I hope they don't have an official protest. Oh boy, the event's going downhill. Yeah. Oh boy.
And my mother-in-law painted the pilot.
Your mother made the pilot? Your mother-in-law.
My mother-in-law, Lena.
Now, if you happen to
In the hair.
if you happen to see a bunch of guys in the paddock formulating up a protest, I would be careful because this is on video. The builder of the pilot rule.
Paint everybody's pilot.
Oh boy. That looks good, Jimmy. I got to give you credit. Looks good. Now, there's one thing about video that I think is just exceptional and special. I came out to the pond this morning and one of the orange fish, the larger of the orange fish, was dead. I have 3 sick fish in this pond and I've been treating them, but obviously losing one, the second one I've lost this year. It's a normal part of the cycle of life. Fish don't have a, I guess, the same life pattern that a human being has. But it's difficult for me anytime I have to bury one of these guys in the garden. Anyway, they have really become my friends. Anyway, I took a look up at the trees. It looks like kind of a nice day. And what's happened is John Brodak has the double star in the mail, but it's not here today, so this might be a good day to work on an alternative project that I've been wanting to work on. Well, I do it every year, so. It's that time of year. This weekend we'll be doing all our planting. We got some of the plants here. We got some real unusual ones this year that we didn't have in the past. This guy's kind of cool. And we got a whole bunch of potted roses that we're going to be planting. A bunch of hanging baskets. And some really nice roses. They're already blooming away. Now, one of the things I noticed from reading gardening books, and this is really not a great tip, but something you, anybody that's got a fish tank, Ken Thompson already knows this. You take this stuff that you vacuum out from the bottom of the fish pond, which I have a pump now to do that, and what I do is I use it for rose food, and I've been putting it on these roses, and in the last couple of weeks they've just gone crazy making some nice flowers. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or not, but it's the time of year that I think about the flowers, the fish, the garden, starting to get the yard shaped up. I guess everybody knows this garden is one of my real favorite projects in life. Working on this has really been a lot of fun over the years. And every year it turns into something just a little bit different, a little bit newer. Every year we try to put a little more work into the plantings, the annuals. One of my favorite little flowers, Johnny Jump-Ups. Actually, we've been lucky. Both of our lilies made it through the winter, which is sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. The taros made it. Now, every year before the flying season starts, and we really probably about 2 weeks away from having a real flying season, I like to go over all of the airplanes. In fact, I'll probably get to do 1 or 2 of them today. Go over them with final shine. Some of the things I believe a lot of people leave out of their maintenance program, and it makes for a real pain in the neck, is they don't have fuel in the tank over the winter, if there's a winter where you live. In our case, there's been fuel in these tanks for 7-8 months, so we're going to go out in the driveway, run that fuel out before we actually go to the field with the plane. And the reason is you don't want to get to the field and, hey, the first flight you got this really good air, and you know that fuel is old, all the propylene oxide's out of it, and you get a funny run. Then the second run you get too lean or rich of a needle valve set. And what I also like to do is by going over the whole plane with final shine, it really puts a nice protective coat on. Number 1. Number 2, what it does is it lets me look around. If there's any little cracks, holes, chips in the paint I need to touch up before I can go on. I really don't want to go out to the field with either a crack or a hole or something that needs some attention. And just by going over the plane like this carefully, you can usually pick up, well, you can pick up a lot of the little things that maybe over the winter have deteriorated. This plane's in pretty decent shape, but some of the older planes, you know, they have cracks in here and cracks around the canopy, and I like to get those sealed up. What I like to do is check the lead out guide, make sure that screw hasn't, what happens over the winter, the nut, the bolt will sink into the plywood if it's a wood lead out screw. Oil the lead outs up, drop a little bit of oil on the hinges. See, the paint is still in pretty decent shape on this plane. But again, this is, you know, this is a 3 or 4 year old plane now, whatever it is. I always have some oil, a WD-40 in the motor. I need to work that out. And what's really good, you can see how stiff that is. What happens is when you go to the field the first day you're flying a plane that hasn't been flown in a long time, there's always going to be junk in the tank. That first thing of fuel, then you want to clean the filter. Check the head screws, the muffler screws, check that the prop is tight. When you're doing all that maintenance at home, it's just so much easier than doing it under non-controlled conditions. People are waiting to fly, they're pressuring you. And the more you can do in the shop, that's my feeling, the better off you are, always. Now the project that I hope the weather is going to hold up for us. By the time I get everything ready and loaded, it may be too late. Anyway, there's a lesson to be learned, and I have to tell you, I'll be the first to confess, there are many times I've got all excited about flying a plane, rushed out to the field, controls weren't loosened up yet, hinges weren't loosened up, motor wasn't test run, and all I've done is had a frustrating, aggravating day. Now in this case, one of the things I wanted to do, I left this plane exactly as it was the last time I flew it, which is something I usually tend to do. And what I wanted to do, I have that 4-bladed Tom Lay prop. I'm going to have to look around and make sure I have a spinner that has a 4-bladed cutout for that. But that was what I wanted, to have a test for the day. But the test is not going to be valid if I don't have a square one. If I go up there, and especially if the air is not good, I can't really compare to square one, and I've talked about that many times in the past. If I try a muffler or a prop or anything, what happens is you don't have your square one reading to compare it to, and you really do never know if it's just a good day air-wise, or especially at our field. And I hope the water is off the field. I went past the field earlier in the week, and it was underwater, so we'll have to take a look. And we'll always just take a chance that we can get a couple of flights, or at least get at least 1 or 2 flights on that Tom Lay, should say Brian Ether prop. It's a 4-blade, spins very slightly de-pitched, so it should be an interesting day. And this is an excellent plane for doing these tests with while we're waiting to get our double star. Another thing that's funny, not funny at all, in fact. I remember one year, I never checked the wheels after letting the plane sit all winter. Went out to the field, I'm really excited, let's go flying. And what happened? Let go of the plane, it just went and broke the prop. Wheels had frozen shut on the axles from not having totally defluxed the solder joint. And over the winter with the moisture, it's a real possibility that can happen. Again, all these little maintenance things, it seems like little minor stuff, but it's the difference between having dead reliable stuff and stuff that just makes you crazy at the field. And notice that what I've done is, first of all, is covered the plane with the final shine. And even little things like the Ray rudder linkage and the rudder hinges, even little things like that, over the winter they dry out, they get gummy, and then you pretty much waste that whole first day. A lot of people are afraid to get oil on a plane. Well, you know what? I don't like to get it on there either, but I don't want to have some sticky control system or something crazy. First day out, especially if you get there in the air, which always is circle burn air, can be a little unpredictable. I like to return to having those really smooth controls that I had in the fall, the last time it was flown. Now remember, what really happens here, and people don't understand this really, is you wipe the plane off but it's all castor oil, and what happens over the winter, it turns to castor jello inside the hinges and in the Ray rudder linkage and in the wheel bearings or wherever. So really, getting that first flight, it's really, I think anyway, I try to do this to all the planes one at a time. And by the way, even if you have a plane that you're not, another good tip, you're not really intending to fly it this season, it's always good to take it out for one day during the year. Get as many flights as you can on it, just to get the tank cleaned out, get all the wheel bearings and everything lubricated. Just do what I call the maintenance. And then when it does come time that you want to fly that plane, you're a light years ahead of the game. And believe me, I won't fall for that. Just assume everything is okay. If you've ever flown a real plane, you know a very important part of it is pre-flight in a plane. Well, you know, pre-flight in a model, I think it's important. Anyway, I want to get together the 4-bladed spinner and all the hardware so that I can take some flights on the 5-blade and then switch the hardware over. Compare apples to apples and apples to apples and apples to apples. Anyway, it's nice to know that some of these planes, now a lot of people have the philosophy, yeah, I'll build a plane and, you know, once a year I'll build a new one. Well, it's nice to know that, like this year as an example, we really didn't have the right amount of time to build one because of the business reorganization. But what's really nice to know is you can just take last year's off the shelf and probably still be pretty competitive with it. Be more competitive than the Knicks anyway. One of the things, if you have this idea in mind, if you're like I am, your time at the field is really limited, and you don't want to waste an hour of field time, especially if the air is good, or if you just want to have the most fun you possibly can. You don't want to waste that hour. If you waste an hour like this when it's early in the morning, the sun's not even up, who cares? It's just a simple hour. But all the maintenance you can do, if you can do an hour of maintenance home and save an hour at the field, you in effect have bought an hour of flying. And it's so critical. So many people let that little lesson slip right by them. They get to the field and they're cutting lines and changing things and looking for prop nuts. And if you can do as much of that at home, my feeling is when you get to the field, you should be flying and testing. Should be no maintenance at all at the field. Everything that you possibly could do at home, do at home. Anything when you get to the field, especially if the air is good, no matter what. That's quality time. Well, you can see why it's flooded. This whole area has been flooded out the last 9 or 10 days. It's impossible to get to the field through the normal road. Yes, sir. There's the circle burner field, so I'm guessing we're not going to get any flights in today. I mean, that may be safe to assume. Anyway, you can see the cops are down the other end of the road. Everything is blocked off. What a mess. Look at this. This is where it's right up to the road, in fact. Well, it looks like maybe we'll be going to Middlesex tomorrow. I don't think we'll be coming here. Holy mackerel, what a mess. This might be the worst I've ever seen it. Anyway, thought you'd enjoy seeing this. So we got everything prepared. At least we can go to bed tonight knowing that, hey, we did the best we can here. But just shows you when you live in Jersey, look at the fences half underwater. Sometimes, you know, it just doesn't pay to be windy. You just can't win them all. Yeah, we just got our ass kicked by the cop for taking down the barricades to get here. You have another step in that. The Adventures of Straga. Wow, I'm telling you. Well, you can see off to the side, the road is the only thing above water. And it might be that we're going to lose the field for a while, so hey, it's a shame. But you're always subject to this when you're in this area. This is the reason we have a flying field here. People in California and stuff, I know they're having a tough time. Wow. Anyway, well, at least we're prepared and we're ready. As I always say, we're ready. Look at this. They even got this road blocked off. Don't even think about coming through here. The water at the end of the road is about 10 feet deep. The smell of foam in the morning. The smell of napalm in the morning.
It's a little gasoline with that.
Bench tops, Ken, these look good.
Yeah.
Nice, beautiful. Pro stunt, I'm telling you.
Dwayne.
What?
Dwayne came up with those.
These are the things Dwayne gave you?
Yeah.
They're for more beautiful. Man alive. This is one of the, Ken bought 3 sets of polywogs. This one really works out good. We were doing some final sanding, and this one works good on a hinge line. You want to do a little spot on a hinge line here? Why? Oh, you're doing a cowling. This one, because of the angle of it, fits right in the hinge line with the sandpaper on it. Really has been working good. We've been sanding away, and then we found the one that's just a little bit smaller than the fillets. This one here, for doing in, especially right under the landing gear, that's a prime spot. You always have trouble. How much more you got to do on a cowl? Almost done?
Nah, just getting started.
Okay.
10 minutes more.
Getting in all those hinge lines. See, the trick with doing this too, Ken, is never go forward. You see what you're doing? If you hold the tail end of it up, okay, try this. Here's where people have trouble. If you do this and it goes,
Oh yeah, you can't.
so if you hold the tail up and just go in one direction, you'll clean it, and there's like virtually no chance you're going to pick up a big chunk of paint. You need a ride home, George? Oh.
And that's all that hinge line is going to get, actually.
Yeah, and this will be ready for ink in the next session, Monday. Just had a thing we can put on a tape. As soon as you see you're picking up colored paint, basically you're finished with sanding your hinge lines. Otherwise you're going to wind up, these aren't cases we've gone through, they're just the dry clear. But as soon as you see,
4 little swipes down that.
right, as soon as you see that, the party's over, because if you keep going, you're going to wind up having a big touch, and the touch-up looks worse than if you didn't do the sanding part of it. That's another good tip. That just worked out for you. What we're anticipating doing, George is measuring up my toolbox. What do you figure, George? Rough idea. Just a rough idea. Going in business making toolboxes.
Gearing up next.
Yeah, I know.
We're in process.
What's a rough? This is a little more elaborate, an RC box. Just trying to come up with some ideas for, by the way, we will be taking deposits. Whoop, there goes.
WD-40.
On WD-40 cans. Yeah. See, in control line, you don't need to hold the plane up in the air like that. So that saves you one item you have to make. Yeah.
Use the box to hold the plane.
And these
so you can
goes
run.
right in, right. These
Yeah.
snap in. Okay.
I just don't have it all finished. All kinds of storage.
Yep.
Of course, that's the door for the gas containing. And then over here, you put your starter in here.
Yeah.
You used to put parts here. Your propellers went in the side drawer. And then at the
Now
bottom.
this was a kit at one time?
Yeah.
Was a kit? I never saw this. Oh yeah, I see the directions.
What's left of them.
Yeah, okay. Well, George is busy.
Actually, this was a kit that a man was trying to do it as a business. And
Yeah. Who was it, your father, your uncle that owned the hobby shop?
Paul's Hobby, yeah.
Paul's Hobby Shop, the biggest hobby shop I was ever in my life.
Now he's got a little shop to keep himself busy out there.
And this is a wing to one of your planes? What is it?
This is a 20-year-old wing that was beaten up in his attic by his kids and his kid's friend. And he just doesn't have the heart to throw it out, so we're just going to clean it up, make it flyable.
It almost looks like a tsunami wing.
Yeah.
Not far from it, anyway.
I don't know what it is, a cherry, I don't know, we lost the plan, so we figure one good figure 9 with it, and that'll be the end.
All right, let's get your ideas on this. You measured this all up, and you figured there's a... Okay, you made a drawing already.
Just made a quick drawing of it.
Yeah. Mike's making these stooges. He sells every one he makes. So that turned out to be a good product.
Maybe we'll do something with this.
See, you may be, yeah, if you're doing aluminum, you could just make the box come out this far. If you wanted to make these custom, make this whole box
there's this one
come out.
down here.
If you're interested in a toolbox, call up and get on the production list. Oh, I see what you got, yeah. Okay.
This one here, and then those
And the fuel jug goes out on that end?
plastic drawers that you had,
Right.
I had going here with a rod that could...
Yeah, that's a decent idea.
Get it down.
This is one thing Brodak's got to come up with, the Brodak fuel box.
This had motorcycle battery goes inside here. Here's the other batteries. Here's where your starter hooks up to, charge it, fuel.
I see in the future a Brodak windy replica toolbox. Coming soon to a theater near you.
We're already doing it.
See, took it all out.
Was this from the engine that you blew up?
No,
This reminds me of like boating days. We had that engine apart more than it was in the water.
I'm jerking around with a motor for one of my hot rods, convertible.
Poker DR1 that was golden.
Yeah.
This is one of our model airplane engine heads.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get it ready.
Wait for the nose.
Boy, those Oldsmobiles used to blow valves and oh my God.
This is actually, those are 202s.
Salvo Billy built a plane that was pretty close to putting that in a half-scale laser.
I told George the next step I want to get into is I want to get into the ultralights.
All right, I got a partner for you.
There's an airfield right down by the. As a matter of fact, if we go down Saturday, I'll take you over there. There's an airplane port for the ultralights. And there's guys down here. There's one guy, he built an ultralight to look like a Piper Cub. He just fits in it. Yeah, 1 gallon gas can though. That's the only downside. Not allowed to carry more than a
My
gallon.
only problem with ultralights is that there is no control.
There's no restrictions right now.
And you know, when you go flying, when I was flying, and you go up to the airport to fly, and you're not instrument rated, and that beacon is spinning, you know you're not allowed to fly.
Anyway.
What do you got, a little mic?
Yeah, little mic.
Where'd you get that from, your old toolbox?
I've had it for 20 years.
See, that's how accurate is it though? It's good?
Real accurate.
Who makes that?
I like those little
I got
digital
it when I
ones.
worked at the Gleason Machine Tools.
Oh, okay, it's an accurate tool.
We can use that for tightening the bolts on the
Use it for a house. Motor, a 60?
Actually, it says a 25 to a 40.
Ah, be a real man, put a 60 on.
Problem is I can't get the prop swing, so a 60 would burn up.
I'll give you one of those 5-bladed props like I got outside. I just happen to have one spare right in the
That
truck.
would look sharp on there.
A 5-blader on your boat.
Just grab one of your motors. Let's hold it up and see what it looks like.
You got a 60, George? Look at this.
Oh, okay,
He's
yeah.
got a Merco 61. Check that out. That's a great skunk.
Wow.
Take the mount off. Take the motor
Where'd you
off.
get a
After about
Merco
5 minutes
from?
of running, it'll have clearance.
Yeah, 1 minute. I need the steel blade.
We can fix this right now.
Yeah, well, you just
That
jack
looks
it up
pretty
more.
cool. Let me see the motor. This is an old Merco.
Brand
Look at
new.
this muffler.
Brand new.
Wow.
Never been run. Never been run.
There you go, Ken.
I want that motor.
This is a good stunt motor. You make a Venturi for this? If the boat sinks
I even
and
got
Kenny
Terry
jumps in to get
carburetor.
it.
I don't have a 60 to trade him for it. I don't have, I don't have an RC 60 to trade him.
If it didn't break, it's got to be good. You can always put a base.
I don't know about the outside squares with
You
this.
can always put a spacer, and if the antenna's too long, that'll take care of that too.
How about a 3-bladed prop? I
We'll
got
put a couple of
3-bladed
wings
prop.
on it.
We could run this right out by the circle burner field today. You could go boating.
Oh, yeah.
You get the cop. You tell the cop.
Or any of those days when the grass is wet.
When Kajeski's mowing the grass.
I bought Tommy one of those Cox swamp boats. It's supposed to run on wet grass.
All stuff going on. That's a K&B 15.
Never run. The needle valve has never even been put in it.
We could put this in Ken's Oriental. Wow. This is a 35.
Yeah. When they first came out with them.
Is this what? This is some kind of collector's item. Or so. How old is
this?
this?
This is when they first came out. Bought this in like 1979.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think they still make them, but they don't make them with a
78,
35.
79, something like that.
Water-cooled head. You could have radiator on your plane.
Needle valve never even put in it.
Wow.
Spare prop. Got to be balanced.
One of the latest additions to Ken's shop here, the little bolt selection area, wiring area, cable TV area, the foam area. Kenny, I have to tell you, I am impressed. It's coming along. Anybody that's seen this adventure from the very beginning.
And if you wonder why your wing's been a little late, well, we've been working on the shop.
And keep in mind, it's going to get better. Yes.
A lot of old ladies to get the money to do this too.
This is the main thing. Is Fisher happy? He's got these nice little fish here.
West of building a model shop, old ladies in the crosswalk don't mean to.
But hey, if you were with us from the beginning of the making of this shop, now you can see it's really coming together. We have a lot of convicted arsonists here, a lot of equipment,
industrial supplies have been delivered.
and it's only a matter of time before we're all in jail.
Floated down from the sky, attached to handkerchief-sized parachutes.
But the most
A little paint booth so you can paint inside. You got exhaust fan on this yet or not?
Yeah, there's a couple of muffin fans going up out here to a vent.
Yeah, okay.
Turn it on.
So all you need is a dryer hose on that.
When you plug it in,
This is
you
nice.
gotta plug it in, then the light actually does come on. Comes out, air comes out of the side.
That's great.
A little fan blowing on the blowing air in, and then a fan blowing air out, so it didn't heat up inside there. But when you close the doors,
Need a sandblast cabinet here too soon.
Because the ends are threaded.
It's been a long journey putting this shop together, but it's really come together. Okay, back home at the shop. Got the final drawings, what I think is the final breakdown of the Cad Cam for the Brodak Cardinal, with all the modifications so that the airplane can be produced as a kit. Get a little look at. Pat Johnson has worked these up. They look real nice. Hey, and in today's news, I was listening to the news this morning. Frank Sinatra passed away. Wow. Now, Stacy, Karen's daughter, is living right in the neighborhood where Frank Sinatra grew up in Hoboken. And he is the local hero. Be no problem getting him voted into the Hall of Fame, that's for sure. Okay, hey, plans look good. A couple little notations. I don't know if John's going to add more notations to this, but so far we're well on the way to having this kit produced. Now look at this. It's not really my birthday, it's my anniversary. Somebody out at Brodak's made up a birthday card. And they think I'm old, I guess. Look at all, everybody signed it from the Brodak clan, so that was real nice. Some airplanes are red, some are blue, but they all need engines, and yours do too. Here's a double star 40. Soon to be old man. Forget it, young man. Fly up and away. Have fun while you can. While you can. Listen to this. Listen, they just sent this to Frank Sinatra. Enjoy your gift. Have a wonderful day from the Brodak gang. Now let's get busy, and you got that right. Let's go play. Boy, thank you very much, guys. I think I'll put that over on my wall of honor with John Elway and Larry Holmes and all the other memorabilia. Joe Adamusco and I having our picture in the paper. Stuff that my daughters sent me. Hey, everybody out at Brodak's, thanks a lot. Now look at this. If this isn't beautiful. Give you a nice little instruction to do. Says the motor doesn't need a lot of braking. He recommends Taffender fuel at a minimum of 11-inch props. These are from Tom Dixon, his little hints and tips here. It's fit with a SIG plug. Now, from having seen many of these run, including Midgley's, like I said, I'm going to go answer the phone. Now, just talking about engines here, if there ever was an award for a nicely made engine, this is absolutely like a Rolex watch. If you look at any of the workmanship on this, I mean, having been around a machine shop a long time, I can tell you, this is really top of the line stuff. Everything really has the look, the fit of machine shop, aerospace, whatever you want to call it. Beautiful. Now, the couple of things that I've noticed, I had Midgley, one of the things we know is this long needle valve can be a problem. This can be a problem if you land inverted, so I don't know if we're going to be able to do anything about that. Right now it's not an issue, and we don't plan on, well, we don't hope we're not going to land inverted. Anyway, it really looks nice. Now, I don't have time today. We have a lot of activity. There's a beginner stunt clinic coming up that I'm going to participate in this weekend, so I'm not really going to get a chance to do any of this. And we need to get our punch press running over at the shop. We're going to dedicate a day to that. I'm telling you, I'm overwhelmed. This is really a beautiful motor. And when I actually do the retrofit, there's a couple of things. It's not as long as the K&B, so I'm going to have to improvise some kind of an extension unit. And I want to do as little machine work on this as possible, so that I can drop in the K&B and a double stall both at the same time. Anyway, these are available from Brodak or Tom Dixon, of course. And this is really, really one of the, you know, there's improvements in the world of stunt. There's things that, yeah, you know, they're improvements for 4 people in the hobby. But a motor like this, a well-made motor that fits about 90% of the designs, this is really a big step forward. And this is something anybody that is considering a kit should consider one of these as one of the possible options. Keith Varley, one of my friends from Canada, from Vancouver in fact. Notice the stooge he's got. Holy mackerel. Maybe it's a Baron stooge, I don't know. But anyway, this is the front page of the paper. And they're getting some good ink up there. And it looks like they really have a nice flying field. Boy, this is, with our field underwater and Middlesex in jeopardy of being lost to the politicians and the baseball players, wow, this is really good to see. Now, he also mentioned another thing. A good friend of mine from years gone by, Alan Ressinger, is still alive and well, and he's done a lot of flying on these flying circles. Look how nice they are. Good to see that we're getting some good ink on the front page of the paper in Canada. Hey, Keith, thanks a lot, and we'll be sending you out some stuff today. As I prepare for this, I'm not going to really be able to do this today, but I like to make a little list in my mind, so if there's anything I need to get from a hobby shop or make down at the machine shop, one of the things I can see that even if the holes line up, and Midgley has already, let me take the other of that. Midgley has already told me that he tried to drop his in and it needed a long extension shaft. Let me just show you what some of the choices we have here, even though this is not a cut and dry thing. We want to be able to, as one of the final things, be able to interchange motors right at the field. That's one of the priority things of this. I want to have 2 choices, obviously, that all interchange with the fuel tank. Now, even if I line up the bolt holes, and the bolt holes I can elongate or make adapter plates, one of the things is I need an extension. The crankshaft is shorter. Now, one of the choices, of course, you could just, if you didn't want to go back and redo this, you could go Zona saw and sort of front inch off the plane, 3/4 of an inch. But I also have these, and I don't know which one of these, if any, I'm going to be able to use. But it's always a good idea, and this is my point. When you're going to do this kind of a retrofit, don't burn all the bridges behind you. I have spinner back plates. These I made years ago. In fact, I don't even know if I made these. Somebody else made these. That these bolt onto an engine, like an old Vico extension unit. And wow, that looks like it'd be perfect. And I also made another one out of aluminum years ago. This is a shorter one. And none of these are really my first choice. First choice would be, of course, one of the other choices is to use the front hole as the back hole and put 2 new holes in the plane, which I guess we could do. Or to make a steel or an aluminum adapter, a U-shaped adapter, so we could bolt, just interchange the holes. Anyway, what I want to do is in the next couple of days, because I'm not going to get to do this right away, but it always is a great idea that if you have some time to think about these things ahead of time while you're driving around in a car or whenever, think of what the possibilities are and how you really want to do it. Now see, the downside of using these extension things is every one of the shafts and nuts needs to have an oversized hole, and then you can't really reasonably go back without adapters and everything. It gets to be a pain in the neck. So the first choice would be not to have to use this, but another thing too, this motor is considerably lighter, and I'm going to do an accurate weighing of these on a grain scale when we're done. So having the adaptability of the CG, being able to move the CG back. In other words, if you built a plane with a K and B and it was nose heavy, this would solve the problem. If it was tail heavy already, well, this wouldn't really solve the problem much. But anyway, we got plenty of choices, and we're really this is one of those projects where between now and the time I actually get to do it, I'll really be looking forward to seeing this, what the possibilities are, and having 2 interchangeable power packages. Again, one to low RPM, one to high RPM, one relatively low cost, one relatively high cost, but having 2 really solid choices and being able to change them right at the field on the same day. Now, all the guys that have been subscribers for the 11 years that we've been doing this kind of fun stuff know that every Friday, it's the law, I have to come up and see my mother, or I get an ass whipping like you can't believe. Well, One of the things I really do enjoy is coming up here in the spring. We always have our mandatory cup of coffee. And we have about an hour or two to spend, but we always do something cool like feed the birds, or in this case, I want to see what's going on with her dog. If you remember, that old bird feeder, it took me about a week to make this thing. It lives on. And like so many things in my life, they live on in a different way than I originally intended. Like Strega. Hey, who would have thought that Strega would now be the backup quarterback? The backup bird feeder here. Shut up, dogs.
Whoa.
How many people have a stuffed wolf on the entry to their home? This wolf almost bit John Brodak when he was up here. Ah! This is dog shite. Now, does anybody else have a dog that eats carrots? Hey, I like the hair curler look, Ma. That's pretty nice. You got all dressed up because I'm coming up here, huh?
Well, I wasn't going to wash it because I said I have curlers in my hair. I said, who the hell cares?
Yeah, who the hell cares, right? Come on, Cloud. Look at this dog eating carrots. Anyway, maybe we can get her to eat tune pipes.
Put your ears up, so you look like
Yeah, come on, let's see the ears. Shush. Ah, look at those ears. Now, how can you hate that face? Man, how can you hate this dog? No hair. She's got a body like a pig and a... Look at that face. Now, I know Oscar Vans. I know he's got his show cats and they're all primmed and pruned. Look at another one just jumped in my lap. Oh. Hey, Caesar. Caesar, you want to be on a movie? You want to be on John Brodak's movie? Come on, give her another carrot. Be a big spender. We're going to teach this dog to eat tune pipes. Feed her a tune pipe. Now, there's nothing better than a cup of Java, a donut, and my mother in hair curlers. Oh my, you gotta get dressed up when I'm making movies. Steven Spielberg's mother doesn't come out with hair curlers on.
Come on.
Come on, Cece.
Come on, up.
Oh man.
Come on, up.
I haven't missed the Price is Right on Friday in 10 years, have I? All right, who's gonna win some money today? No, Cece, you're not that cute. Poor baby. Oh. Poor baby. Poor baby. Oh. Quit your growling. What a baby.
He thinks that thing.
He doesn't eat carrots, does he?
No.
Well, we got old Strega loaded up. It is really looking like we might luck out and have a great day at Middlesex tomorrow, and then Sunday is the stunt clinic. Last year, if you remember, we had baby birds up in our microwave. We couldn't use our microwave for 6-7 weeks because they had baby birds. So I took care of that problem this year by putting a little fence in there. But let me show you what's happened. These birds have outsmarted me again. Now, if you look right along the side of the house here, there's a mother robin going into her nest, and I just happened to be cutting the hedges before, and I noticed it's full of baby birds. Oh, she's in there. I don't want to get too close and scare her, but she's right in here. And it looks like she's got a bunch of little babies. Let's see if I can see her head. Can you see her in there? I don't know if you can see her. Now, there's the mama. She's getting ready to chase me away here. She doesn't like that I'm taking pictures of her babies. Oh. I'll tell you, I spent a lot of time in my backyard trying to make this a little haven for birds and fish and people and whatever. And there's times like this. You get the car all loaded up the night before, and it's like my own little piece of heaven on earth here. It really is a labor of love. I'm just so happy that Karen and I both have been able to work on this together and make a project we can share with you. Off to Middlesex. You got the double star 60 that we had in the planes last year, the same one?
That's right.
All right. Yeah, I got the double star 40 already. I just haven't retrofitted to the little Cardinal. What prop are you starting with? 14.5?
Yeah. The tank can't be filled. Why is this
What did we do with that one? Look at, what is it?
Maybe I do have this shit.
Now what Joe has done is he's got a little problem with the tank vents here. He's got to resolve at home, but we had a little makeshift way of getting through the day here. This is a brand new tank, and of course we want to make sure it's run a couple times on the ground without a problem. Yeah, well, he could fix the vents at home. All I want to do is get through the day. We get through the day. Too nice of a day to waste. Actually, I got the 4-bladed props here. We want to get ready to start a little test session. It's time. Always good to bench run the plane, though. Always bench run it.
It likes to be right there, but that's how I was running it a couple years ago, or no, last year, the motor last
Between 85 and 87 is its...
Right, with that cut down prop.
It's getting pretty hot out here, baby. You should see the circle burner field underwater. Underwater. Okay, like I said, we had a real adventure with the tank vent tubing. Joe's been so busy at work he didn't have time to bench run it. Just to make you feel good, I had the same, almost the same thing with Strega. I had so much oil in the tank I didn't want to really even fly it the first flight. But looks like we're back in action, I hope. It's starting to get really hot too. This is Joe's double star light 60. 14.5 rev up cut down. Now I always found a double star 60 light when I had it. The prop it liked the best was the 13.6 rev up. That was the friendliest of the props. But we still got to test off 4 blades. We hope we're going to get some air here. Usually down here when it gets hot, the air gets all punky and mushy, and I don't know if Joe's happy with the set. Oh, look at that elliptical wing. The wicked beauty of the elliptical wing. And maybe that's a good point to make anytime, you know, I wanted to take Strega and run it in the driveway, but didn't get a chance, so running it on the ground here once, right away, you find out the problems. And we did get to run this once on it. I think it's just Rich. He's just going to run it out. But again, the good thing is, always better rich than lean. Rich is always better than lean. Yeah, we've taken a couple of flights with the 5-blade to get our square one under control. But it's gotten so hot that I have abandoned the tube muffler, gone right to the tongue, unrestricted tongue. In this heat, and it is really a cooker here. I'm really cooking away. And we'll be ready as soon as Joe comes down to do a couple tests with the 4-blade. I have both of the spare 4 blades here. Whenever I do this kind of testing, I like to bring my toolbox with all the other little blivets and back plates. I have the Brian Ether 4-blade. And we have never had that on a plane yet. We've done a little work pitching that, and we have one of the extra bollies left over from the Spitfire program that we've never had on a plane. So take a little look at them. The bolly, they're totally different. You see Brian's prop is a little thicker at the hub. Blades are a little thicker at the root and thinner at the tip. The bolly is more one-dimensional. Anyway, we'll get a chance to try both of them. And this is all stuff we hope we're going to be able to ultimately put right into the Spitfire program. Long lost and forgotten, Marty Chicola. He's back. He's back. I caught him stealing one of my 4-bladed props. Look at this guy. They fit right in your pocket. So convenient, huh? Joe's out there getting another flight on the old Stuntress. Turned out to be, the word for the day is hot. Good day to do prop testing. And Marty's got a plane that we haven't seen on video in about 10 years. When I first started shooting video, this was one of the first planes, 10, 11 years ago, I took some flights of him. A couple of tips for dealing with hot weather. 13.6, don't even fool with the other props. The muffler, this is the one that, I guess the one that's made for this motor. We're going to open up the exhaust holes just a little bit. You can do that with a reamer. You can do that with, I guess the easiest way is if we had a drill.
That's right, drill press. But
an X-Acto knife. That's soft aluminum. You can cut that with an X-Acto knife. And we got to do a tank shim, and hopefully then we'll be ready to start doing some high competitive flying here. Very competitive. All right, we're going to start with the bolly, try to get a couple of flights on this while the air is at its maximum heat of the day. Could be picking cotton out here. It's gotten breezy and hot, and so we're going right back to what was the square one prop here, just so we can get an overall comparison of all the props today. Anybody might not remember, Marty was the 1983 Rookie of the Year. He's judged between then and now, probably judged 100, 150 contests. Even in the years he was out of flying, always made a nice contribution. Judged, ran Edison, helped Bill Lindemann. Really glad to see him back. And it looks like he's flying pretty well too, but I'm sure he's been out practicing without telling us. Anyway, this is a really old plane too. I'm trying to remember. I know the first year I was videotaping, he had this plane. Oh, we're flying up into the trees here. Oh, the wind is really getting bad now. Much of a warning. I mean, Jeff Stiefel had his gallbladder out very unannounced. Stuff just happens. Okay, Joe's done a little work. He's got it shimmed. We'll be looking to see what kind of result he gets with this. Love those elliptical wings. But down on the other circle, you'll see they're preparing for an endurance event. They have some kind of event where we're not involved in it, of course, but not unless we have a really lean run. And for planning for some kind of an endurance event, they got 4 or 5 people here with their endurance ships. All right. Now, part of getting this package to work, remember, it's over 90 degrees today, I'm sure. I'm roasting out here. Part of getting these packages to work is you really can't get the props that were working in the cool weather. In fact, both of the 4 blades needed to be repitched if we're going to use them in this temperature. This one even looks like it could use a little more pitch. And again, the air has gotten unstable again. One of the things Joe is working on is a tension, so I'm trying to listen to see if it's kind of symmetrical. But we'll check if it's symmetrical on the 8. A lot of people like to time the inverted laps and the upright laps. I like to do it with the 8, the horizontal 8, and see if I have the same beep and bop on both sides of the maneuver. But even though we've had a myriad of little Mickey Mouse problems, this is the last day Bob Martens is going to be with us. He's going back to Utah, and we really have had a really good time with him. Uh-oh, Free Flight City. Yeah, that wind is getting shifty now. Love to look at that elliptical wing. Oh, let's love it. Just love it. Bob Palmer, you're okay. I don't care what Adamusto says about you. Really pleasant to see. We have 2 people, Glenn Metter and Marty Chicola, that have been away from the hobby for quite a while. Look forward to seeing them at the field, having some interactions with them, sharing some pizza. I know Glenn's got his ship ready to fly. We haven't seen him at the field yet, but we've heard through the rumor vine the ship is ready, and it's beautiful. Now with those exhaust holes opened up, you get a much more violent brake on the run, and that's one of the things we're trying to look at here, the 2-cycle power. I don't know if Joe still has extra head gaskets in this, but in this hot weather, usually you'll pull them out. The hotter it gets, the less gaskets you wind up with in the motor. Always if you're fine-tuning. Of course, you never have to do that, but that's one of the things that can give you that little performance edge. When other people are really fishing for more power, you can just reach in and take out a head gasket. It is hot, though. I hate to say it. I am really getting hot. I usually figure I'm one of the last mules to complain about the heat, but I'm hot today. Guess he's not going to do to you. I guess not. Nice looking plane. By the way, I've flown this plane many times. It flies really well. Nice wing.
Need a few more RPMs there, but that Definitely more power with that muffler open.
That muffler open is the ticket, baby.
Full tank.
See Joe, see how many head gaskets you have in there. There might be 2 or 3 head gaskets in there.
You say I gotta take some out, you think?
Oh yeah, I'd put just 1 gasket for the heat of this kind of a day. 1 gasket will do it.
Right back in the brush. In the bush.
Nice wing.
Put some gear on there. I put a wire gear on my own wheels and I saved 20 grams.
Now this is, when are they having the event? Tomorrow? Clear me in because...
No, it's going to come up later.
Okay, this is an endurance event. You're allowed to use a 4-ounce tank. And all you have to do is stay airborne as long as you can. And this is what, an OS Max?
That's an OS Max 15, yeah.
Hey, is there any chance you would know who has an OS Max, this kind of motor, the carburetor that belongs on it? One of my friends has a, he needs the carburetor for an old OS Max.
I don't know that I pulled one off of this or not, but if I do, you can have any RC carburetor on it.
Yeah, oh, I'll pay you for it.
Look at that Venturi.
Look at the Venturi on this. Now look.
That's smaller than it looks. I never saw
something. How big's the Venturi on it? It looks like there's no Venturi.
You've got about a 16th of an inch here.
55.
Wow.
Old 55. Less than a 16.
See the idea of keeping the air off the fins too, so the motor runs hot. It'll run leaner when it's hotter. These guys are really high tech. See, nothing can ever be fun. Right away, it's got to be high tech. Right away, they got to have something that makes it crazy.
We couldn't do anything else but that.
It never could be that you just take 4 ringmasters and see who can stay up the longest. That would never do. Look at the neat little wheels on it. Pick that up, Marty, so I can see the wheels. You made the wheels yourself?
Yeah, those are the bad set. You can see what I got on the motor.
The little O-rings from a, I guess, an automotive thing. That's cool. So how many guys are entered in this event now? How many guys are making it? There was somebody here before had one of these. Or maybe it was you down at the other circle. No, the other one was yellow, right?
What?
The other guy had a yellow one. Where the hell did he go?
The guy had a twin boom, looked like a P38 with an ignition engine.
Oh. You can use ignition? It doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter. Just, you've got to use glow fuel. Let me use my diesels.
What's the composition of glow fuel that gives you the best duration? Straight methanol?
Well, 80-20. We're using
20 oil? Yeah.
Yeah, nitro is less economical, so we just use the most economical fuel going. We will play with gasoline later. Matter of fact, that isn't a particularly good.
Gasoline will make the engine run nice and long. If you want to cheat, I'll tell you how to cheat. Go down to the airport and buy aviation gas. It doesn't have that additive that makes it smell like gas. Put 10% in the fuel and the thing will run, like a 60, will run an extra 2 minutes if you do that. We used to do that for Casal's plane, because he used to have those big tanks that were like a shoebox and he could never get them to run. They'd always run out of fuel. He's always buying aviation gas. And it doesn't have that smell. Like if you put car gas in it, you'll know it right away.
Yeah, but you can smell nitrobenzene too. That's a great mileage ingredient. Yes, just she's out last time it was raining.
Well, I hope you get the world's record here. We want to be hanging around with some mucky mucks here, you know, some big... Damerel's getting his Air Force out here. He's got his Profile Oriental. A booster.
Stop blood.
You know, when hey Joe, I remember I almost set the endurance record with a tuned pipe one time. I had a lean run. I thought that plane was never going to land. It just went, wow.
I don't usually have this problem.
Is there any starting time?
Today.
Hey.
Don't have this problem. I couldn't even fill my fuel tank. See, it's the audience that's throwing you off your...
Yeah, you know you're on the Ed Sullivan show here. That's the problem. All the kibbutzers standing around giving you a hard time.
I
think it should be the opposite. They should let you run as much fuel as you can pick up off the ground. Now that would be you put a PM wing, a Tiger 60. Well, Lindbergh never had this much fun, did he?
Really burns off a little more fuel, and he'll pick the pace up.
Uh-oh, here comes Lindbergh. Give me a ham sandwich.
Get the fly out of there.
You know, my mother actually got to see Lindbergh take off. She said, boy, oh boy, they didn't think he was going to make it. They were rooting for the bologna sandwiches.
You won't get dizzy flying out.
No, jeez. You could put the handle down and go out, go to the bathroom. What happens if 2 hours into the flight you have to go to the bathroom? Do they let you do potty out at the handle?
Have to put up a screen.
Put up a screen. Run over. All right, Jimmy, put the cone over. He's got to go.
That's part of the competition. Yeah, the older you get, the weaker your prostate.
Oh, they ought to call this the prostate event. All of a sudden, coffee kicks in.
You have to drink a quart of water.
It's an event that could get you standing on your head. You know, you need food. Like when you go out there, you got to take a sandwich. You got to have a cooler. You're allowed to have a cooler when you do this event? Oh,
there you go.
A barber chair, and you get a haircut while you're flying.
You know, one of them swivel office chairs?
It's like an apprentice program to me.
Just before he sets the record, run out and grab it by the tail wheel and make it land.
Hey, the wings are low. Look at them.
Yeah. Old Charlie Lindbergh's falling asleep. We ain't going to get a lot of flights in here today if he fueled that up. Hey, how much fuel did you put in the plane? Mister, we charge by the hour. Just another day cooking flyers at Middlesex. Since Mr. Endurance King here is using up our good air, whatever's good air, there's no air left. Marty Chicola is 20. Marty, how old? 20 years? 20, yeah, I remember this from when I was young. Before I had to go on Viagra, I remember this plane. Man, it's old. We're all hiding in the shade here. It is too hot. That old Mr. Economy man out here, the mobile economy run is still going on. About an hour or something already. Pathetic. Oh, I just love that elliptical wing. Anyway, one of the things we did learn today is we definitely need to take both of the four blades and put a little more pitch into them. And we just did some flights with the two blades that we already know are a proven square one for this plane. Did some work with the handle, some general maintenance. And now pretty much I can, at least the next time we come flying, at least know that this will be flip and go stunt. Famous last words.
Popped off the cooling tank to keep it warm.
Yeah, there's a lot of high-tech stuff going on. You know what they ought to do? Go wrap a tin can around his head so his head overheats during one of these flights and see what happens. You know what'd be funny, Bob? You go get a garbage can and run out there and put it right over the top of him. Drill 2 holes for the eyes.
Let me have that one, Marty. I'll take a walk while we're waiting.
You're ready to go, huh, Joe?
13 minutes.
18 minutes! Pretty unique landing. 28 minutes! He cheats, he has a watch. The essence of model aviation. I think it needs a tuned pipe myself. Here's a perfect example. If Marty had a fiberglass cowling, this plane would still have a cowling. See that?
Cowling's in the plate box.
Yeah, don't take it out. Ooh. Still around after 20 years. Laugh all you want. It still looks good. It flies good, too. What motor's in there, Mart?
Tiger 46.
Tiger 40. You never go wrong with a Tiger.
So you can figure I was throwing away fuel.
Yeah. sound of a Super Tiger. Now just think, how many 20-year-old planes do you have in your Air Force? This man is the king of the world here. Still flies good. Classic Super Tiger power. Actually, Joe's had a good day dialing in that double star 60. A lot of luck with that so far. And because we have a full crew here today, a big crew, we get to bounce some ideas off each other, get some unwanted and wanted comments. We're basically roasting out here like a bunch of French fries in a McDonald's. I think Joe's going to be going out to Brodak's too. He sounded interested. Hope we can get him to go out there. We'll have a great time. John, we're all looking forward to it. Just make sure all the antique dealers are closed the week before. Anyway, I don't know if I mentioned it. Through the treatment program, been injecting my 3-6 fish. One had passed away, and 3 look like, well, like they're eating again, and may live. I don't know. It'll be like a fish doctor, combination fish doctor, lawyer, endurance pilot. Yeah, it's always good to see a 20-year-old plane still flying well. 20-year-old motor. 70-year-old pilot. Yeah, Marty's my age. Maybe he's even younger. Who knows? He looks younger. I think he has more hair than I have, too. Nice landing, Marty. Now we pick it up. Marty's been helping us with our prop testing, and we boogered up one of the spinners. And we don't have the real good two-blade spinner here, the one that doesn't have extra cutouts, so we just fly it without the spinner. This is the first time he's ever flown the plane, so it shows you two things. It shows you that average people, way above average I should say, people can fly the plane. And then it's got any little trim quirks he can help us work out. It's been an amazingly, I've said it a million times, amazingly hot day, and we have endured. We've endured the 4-blade, the 5-blade, the 2-blade, the no-blade, the endurance run, had a Musco's tank vent run, and it looks like it's just going to pan out to be a really pleasant day. We've had about 4 or 5 of the guys from the racing community join us, so we're not going to get back-to-back flights after this, but hey, we'll take what we can get. And it really is good to see Marty back. He is really, I don't know, you probably can tell from how quick he dials into this plane, really one of our really talented people. He is really talented. Raw talent. He's a good one. Maybe we can even get him to come out to Brodak's. And actually tonight is Karen and my anniversary, and we're going to be going out to a real nice restaurant. I bought her a doll. She doesn't know about it yet. She will be the recipient of a lovely doll. Add to her collection. And we've really had a rough couple of weeks here with tenant problems and everything, but it's, boy, once you're out at the field, you forget all about life's problems. They just melt away. Leaky basements, shingles coming off roofs, broken wind, it all becomes meaningless. You get out to the field, you get a handle in your hand, you get a bunch of good friends around. Boy, that classic 2-4 brake, there's just nothing like it. I love it. And Joe's really had some good luck with his double star here. Double star has responded real well to getting rid of the back pressure, much like a Fox does. It doesn't like to run with a lot of back pressure. We'll be looking forward to developing that even more, and hopefully get that in the next couple days. That double star 40 and our little Cardinal, and then we'll have 2 motor choices. And we really are looking forward to that. We'll have lots of people flying that in the near future. And hope when the kit finally comes out, everybody will enjoy building and flying one. Marty Chicola, the bombastic one. What it is again?
I had all kinds of trouble with Sig Red, and I found out now 4 other people have. I painted this, sprayed it with Sig Red, and they came back and it was pulled from there to there. I had
oh, yeah.
Wet sanded it all off, tried gray primer Sig Red, came off again.
Yeah.
Wet sanded it off, sprayed it with Hobby Epoxy Red. Wet sanded it to break the glaze and hit it with lacquer clear.
And it's stuck?
And it's sticking perfect. I don't have a check or a graze or, you know.
Well, you know, Brodak's coming out with his own line of dope.
Yeah, that will take care of that
And
problem.
that'll take care of this nonsense of having no reds and yellows that cover.
But this,
believe me, that will.
If you know you can use Hobby Epoxy, that's going to cover. You can sand it down until you get the weight you want. You just, once you break the glaze, it powders. It powders nice.
Write that up and I'll put it in a column. That's a good thing for the column.
And this is lacquer over the Hobby Epoxy. It's silver lacquer, and that's stuck.
On the body is...
Jimmy Casale used to do that kind of stuff, and he, you know.
I thought that was a golden rule, that Hobby Epoxy was more like an enamel, and there's no way you could put lacquer over it.
I don't know. If it works, it works. Who cares why or how?
Yeah.
All the guys are roasting with that, trying to put stuff over Aerogloss.
The other cute thing is this is Tyvek hinge. This continuous Tyvek hinge built into the...
With piece on top and a piece on bottom?
No, one piece in the middle. This is 16 balls of top and bottom, Tyvek and Cardinal over the top. I even hit a 3/32 horn inside a piece of 1/8" tail. So
cool. Yeah, cool.
Racing nonsense, you know. It's not quite free enough for a super stunt ship, but it's plenty free enough for a profile.
Well, for a racer, what the hell do you need?
And when you figure it's a piece of envelope, what do you waste?
Exactly.
But the Hobby Epoxy is the neat thing. I never know you could get away with that.
I don't know either. I never heard. If somebody asked me, I would have said no.
We'll keep watching this for the rest of the year and see if it lives. But so far, it's been out in the sun for a couple of weeks. There's not a mark.
I think Brodak's red is going to be the best red ever.
How much have you been getting Randolph's to change stuff?
No problem. No problem.
What I did
world record. Let's identify world record holder of the K&B 40 and various child molesting duties. Look at this. What are you doing here?
Putting the needle valve in as we speak.
Oh my!
Our good buddy Mr. Damerel.
Don't talk about Jimmy when he's not here. Wait till he's here, then we'll both talk about him.
Made me this setup.
Let's see that Venturi. What is that? The Venturi from hell. Look at the size. Oh my God.
Will do the job.
Oh my God. Mazzoni would be proud. Yeah, that'll do. What is it supposed to do? Like 100 miles an hour?
I'm hoping it'll exceed 120.
120?
Which would be better than 15 flat. And if it does 15
flat for 7 laps? Is that how you time it?
7 laps, yeah. That's how you time it. And I'm hoping it'll do that. And stay together, because the engine itself...
Full control system? No push
No.
Well, how does that work?
Full shut off.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see. I thought you had the pull system, yeah.
And then...
Tells you what I know, right?
Well, it's set fairly light right now, fairly light touch, because I don't want to hit it too hard.